Hello and welcome back. I just feel like I saw you yesterday, but that actually was really Friday. And today is Monday. And you know what Monday is? It is Monday Mavericks. Woo! Thank you for being here. My name is Chrissy Hodges. I'm the executive director and founder of OCD Gamechangers and the host of all of our initiatives we do live. And I am going to let my guests today introduce themselves. We are really excited to have them. And then later on, Sean Shinnick is going to come on. I said it right again. Yes. And he's going to come on and he's going to talk about something that we're all doing together in the next couple of weeks. So you'll be really excited. Ladies, please introduce yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you can see, my name is Allie Wiggins. I am a co-founder of Hard Quirk, which is kind of a baby organization. So we're very new to the advocacy world. You guys will get a chance to hear all about it a little bit more later.
And I am Maya. I am the co-founder of Hard Quirk as well. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. We'll get into it more.
Excellent. Thank you. We'll get right into that. First, I just wanted to talk. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. First, I just wanted to talk a little bit about something. First of all, I'm wearing this necklace. This necklace means a lot to me. It's my grandmother's necklace. It was one of her favorite necklaces that she owned. I'm bringing this to this video today because first of all, I just wanted to say my grandmother passed away about a couple weeks ago. We were traveling for her memorial. Monday Mavericks is very much about people who are doing things, stepping out of their comfort zone, bringing awareness to big topics. And my grandmother was one of these women. And I just wanted to pay a quick tribute to her. I always knew that there was something special about my grandmother growing up. She just had this way that she made you feel like really the most important person in the room when you were talking. And she always saw something in me that a lot of people didn't. And it was just this authenticity. And she really nurtured that piece and just the individualism that I have that I didn't really understand or didn't come into kind of full flourished in Chrissy until very much later in my adult years. But one of the things I want to say about her is this: she was a maverick. She was a woman in the days when she was younger, in the days where women were pretty submissive, didn't stand out intellectually, especially she lived in the South. And my grandfather was a minister, and she learned the knowledge that my grandfather did as he went through his theology program. And she became such a wonderful teacher and became an outstanding member of their of the whole community, the religious community. And that was just for that time, it was just not common for women to have that kind of voice and to really step out and be a maverick, to be inspirational, to take chances, to do a lot of things that only men were doing. So I just wanted to give a shout out to my grandmother. I know that she did pass, but she will continue to be an inspiration to me. She came out in her 80s as living with depression. She lived her entire life without seeking help or talking about it, and finally sought help when she was in her 80s and got the treatment that she needed. She's just such a brave woman. And I also want to thank her partner, Sam. They were together the last probably 10 years of her life, and they were ridiculously in love. And it was so cute. But he gave a very generous donation in her name to OCD Gamechangers. And I just want to thank him and just know that our organization lives through the spirit of what my grandmother represented. So thank you, Sam. And I also just wanted to ask each of you watching or in the coming year, please consider donating to OCD Gamechangers. As I mentioned on Friday, we started our therapist focus groups. I've been real nervous about them, and are they going to be successful? And I'm going to tell you, we had one group today. I was in one group, and I left that meeting with a page full of ideas on how to help with financial and cultural barriers in our community. We are going to find solutions to some of the biggest problems. I feel it. The energy, the magic that those groups are going to create. And we're going to need you to be part of that as well, whether that be being part of our initiatives, funding these initiatives, because our community problems are all of our problems, and the solutions are in the community. So please consider donating to OCD Gamechangers. Anything that you can is appreciated. Your donations will go directly to these initiatives of financial cultural barriers, building resource network, and training for therapists. In the next quarter, we'll be starting new initiatives that will involve people in our community, not just therapists, but look for those. And with that, just wanted to give gratitude to the life of my grandmother, how she inspired me. I would not be the woman that I am. Gamechangers would not exist without her influence and how to be an advocate, even when you were a woman, how to speak out and how to do that compassionately and in a way that really can help and empower other individuals. Thank you for letting me share that with you. All right, here we go. So now we're back. So now we're going to get into the heart of the program, which is talking about what you do, why you do it, anything and everything surrounding that. So let's just start with, and I think what I'm going to do is while y'all are doing the description, I'm going to go backstage so y'all have a little bit more screen. But don't worry, I'm still here and it won't like be crickets if y'all stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Start with what inspired you to start in advocacy and how did Hard Quirk come into fruition?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I think first and foremost, just understanding that like so all four members, Maya and myself being the co-founders of Hard Quirk, are those who have lived experience with life disrupting OCD. So I think, of course, like the biggest sort of burning passion for us has been our personal experiences. And I mean, we can definitely talk more about like kind of the specific path that led us there. But I will say that Maya and I actually met in residential treatment, where we both actually had to sort of take some time off from all of the other things that we're working on in the moment, like school and work and everything in between, in order to kind of get the help that we needed and to seek treatment. So that's where we met and where the idea of Hard Quirk was, I guess, born. But yeah, just a little bit about kind of what we're doing right now, I think would be great. So our name is Hard Quirk. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can also find us on our website at www.hardquirk.com. We are founded by and really for the OCD community. Our organization is something that is fairly new and has kind of expanded much more quickly than I think either of us anticipated. Thank you. And I think that at this point, we want to really categorize ourselves as this first stop place for people who are experiencing OCD. We understand how debilitating this illness can be, and we also understand how empowering being a part of a recovery community can be, which is why we are creating that here. So you'll find a lot of things on our Facebook and Instagram, as well as Twitter. So we do things like Intrusive Thought Thursdays and Sud Sundays, which are just kind of small weekly or bi-weekly social media campaigns to sort of get people engaged in this recovery mentality together. We also have things like a forum on our website. We host a lot of events. We have kind of hosted some talks before, quite like this. And most importantly, recently, we have started providing peer-led facilitated support groups for both those who have firsthand lived experience of OCD and then also their loved ones and people who support them. So like family members, friends, spouses, kind of you name it. We have really, really wanted to kind of open our doors to the community. And I think at the end of the day, almost serve as a platform for other people who are interested in being advocates. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. Maya, you should talk a little bit about how we got here and like what led us to this place.
Sure. Yeah. So Allie and I were really inspired when we were in treatment to start advocacy because we were having this conversation about the stigma around OCD. And it wasn't something that we were really talking about much during treatment. But there was this one particular group in which we kind of had this really deep and great conversation about how, OCD often gets invalidated really as being a personality quirk. And that's something you hear a lot in the OCD advocacy community, I believe. And that was something that we were really passionate about in terms of like, how can we take this invalidating term of quirkiness and being quirky and turn it into something that is empowering for this community? And, you know, through our experiences, I know for myself, and I believe I'm also speaking for Allie here, in that we experienced a lot of barriers to treatment. And, you know, the amount of time that people go undiagnosed and untreated from OCD is substantial. And through our advocacy work, we are wanting to kind of be a stepping stone to get people to be able to access treatment, or increase the accessibility of it, rather. So yeah, Allie, anything you want to add?
No, it's absolutely accurate. I mean, it's been such like a wild roller coaster of a journey, and I love how you were able to like tie it all up for us.
I hope I did okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. This is a better view, I think.
Yeah.
Instead of like all being squeezed in.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody who's joining us. Deirdre, Mike, Thomas, Mirabelle, Kristen, Syed. Thank you for being here. Yay. So I wanted to inquire a little bit about what would be your vision if you said that you wanted to be kind of the first stop for people when they are diagnosed or figure out that they have OCD. What does that vision look like?
Yeah, that's such a good question. Maya and I were actually just having a meeting like recently this week, and we were kind of like recognizing it and acknowledging that we have these like really big goals and dreams, very lofty in a way. And we love that about ourselves. I mean, I think that we have found that we've been able to help and serve the community in a larger way at this point in Hard Quirk, even more so than we ever anticipated. The support that we have received, like from even like the supporting community, has enabled us to help, you know, do things like offer those support groups, which can be free. And so, yeah, I think in terms of like being almost a first stop, Maya and I were talking about it and envisioning like, okay, I just got diagnosed with OCD. What's next? And being able to go to Hard Quirk and finding access to things like support groups, finding access to things like the forum, creating this like kind of expansive friendship network with other people who are also in recovery from OCD, being able to, you know, go onto your Instagram and find like, among all the many other wonderful things like memes about having OCD, being able to kind of comment with this expansive community and being able to network with people who are going through kind of the same thing as you. But then even beyond that, being able to access things like, okay, different types of like focused support groups, more expansive support groups, those that are, you know, focused for people who are having issues with like economic barriers and things like that. And then also being able to connect with clinicians. We all know through our experiences and certainly through community testimony that we struggle tremendously with finding clinicians who are genuinely well versed in understanding OCD. And unfortunately, like that's part of the stigma and part of the lack of awareness. So how can we connect people with clinicians who do know OCD, who are going to be able to point people in the right directions? You know, how can we sort of like uplift other advocates like Chrissy and the work that she does and being able to send people in her direction and saying, hey, she's a great peer mentor. Here's where you can go. Yeah, things like that. I think that's kind of like our vision. And Maya, what would you add to that?
Yeah, I'd also kind of add that this kind of community that we've been able to build so far has been really empowering for me even. And something that I've loved to incorporate into Hard Quirk is the creativity that people with OCD have. So we love to showcase artwork from people in the community. We love to showcase really anything creative. We have a portion of our website dedicated to even like fashion, if that's a way of expressing yourself, and kind of creating this communal space where everyone has an opportunity to get into the conversation in a way that is accessible and comfortable to them. So if you are into public speaking, if you are into writing, if you're into creative writing, if you're into artwork, anything like that, like having this community to come together and really empower one another through our strengths and not only through our illness.
So who is your ideal person that's going to come to Hard Quirk and use your services?
It's so hard to say like our ideal person is someone who, struggles, because we don't want, we don't want people to struggle. And certainly we don't want anybody to go through what we went through. I mean, we talk about this on a level of statistics, so we talk about it at the macro level, but we can also talk about it at the micro level. Like Maya went many years undiagnosed, and I experienced a severe amount of isolation and stigma, even like internally, which was a huge barrier in getting treatment. So I think a big part of that is like wanting to be that stop for those people, Chrissy, who feel like they have nowhere else to go, or even feel like they're not sure where to go. Yeah, I think that's a really like kind of vague and broad way of saying it. And again, like it's so hard to say that we like our ideal kind of clientele is these people who are suffering and going through a horrible time. But that's kind of, we want to be that stop for everyone. So of course, people who are experiencing OCD firsthand, but also people who are curious about OCD. I think Maya did a great job of emphasizing the fact that like, at Hard Quirk, we very much believe that like everyone is an advocate. So whether or not you have firsthand lived experience of OCD, whether you love someone who has OCD, or whether you're somebody who just like you have a friend, someone who has OCD and you want to learn more about it, you can be an advocate, and we're going to find that platform for you, whatever that might mean.
I'd add to that I think particularly like we want to make Hard Quirk a space that is fun and approachable to even learn about OCD. Oftentimes you can go to a lot of clinical sites and it's, quite, I don't know the right word for it, but
clinical.
Sterile?
Yeah, it's a bit sterile, right? So I would love for someone who is, checking out our website to go in and feel welcomed and intrigued and like really excited about learning about OCD or being a part of this community.
And just wanted to say hello, Ethan. Hi, Kayla. Yay!
Hello.
Thank you for being here. Before we go into, and before we bring Sean in and we go into a collaboration we're going to be doing, what can people expect to see, or how can they get involved with what you're doing over the next few months?
Oh my gosh, how can you not? It's very much, we have like a million different kind of projects going on. I'm sure, Chrissy, you can relate. That's like how advocacy is, apparently.
Do you not see the bricks on my shoulders back here? Oh, wait.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, literally all it takes is like come to our Instagram, go to our website, become a member. It's free. It's always going to be free. We will send you emails. We'll send everything and make it as easy as possible for you to kind of get involved. We want this space to be welcoming and creative, just like Maya said. I love how you kind of emphasize that too, Maya. So literally find us on social, find us online. Even like message me and Maya. I mean, we're always here to chat with you about this kind of firsthand lived experience and subtypes and, things like that. So I think that's how to kind of get in touch with us.
Great. And another question. I know that you've mentioned stuff about how you've done art submissions and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
What is that all about? If I was like, well, I have something and I want to do this, is that something that you run all the time, or is that an event, or what does that look like?
Sure. Yeah. So we have it going all the time on our website. We have a gallery dedicated to community artwork. But we also just finished a fundraiser that was kind of based off of this creativity aspect. It was called Art Quirk, and we did pretty much an art fair fundraiser. So that was a great way to get other people from the community to submit their artwork and have it serve as a fundraiser even. But in terms of the website, it is always there. We are always looking for people to send us anything creative that they would like to share regarding their experience with OCD or recovery or anything under the sun. Yeah.
I almost like want to put in like a plug for the OCD brain, because it's like, we have to deal with all of this really, really frustrating and annoying and debilitating kind of illness and challenge and everything. And what Maya and I have found throughout our experiences, that in addition to that, people in the OCD community are some of the most creative and innovative people that we have ever come across. So I think, being able to sort of empower that artwork, and again, like artwork, not even being this traditional experience of painting or sketching or even music, but could be something more like dancing or public speaking or writing and things like that. And being able to sort of like embrace that part of the community has been a really, really fun way to celebrate what's great about our brain. And Maya and I talk a lot about how, you know, like you don't have to be an artist to have OCD. Not everyone who has OCD is an artist, but everyone who has OCD has this kind of really creative and intricate way of processing information. And we know that. So how can we kind of celebrate that too?
That's because we all have to go deep, whether we want to or not.
Ain't it true? Yeah. And it doesn't take any time off. So
never.
Well, excellent. Okay. Well, I think it's time to bring Sean.
Woo! Let's do it.
Shinnick.
Ready.
Sean Shinnick.
Hey, what's going on?
Third time.
I can see the nervousness in your face right when you're about to say my last name, Chrissy. You like, you go when to say it, your eyes get big and go, am I going to screw this up this time? But like the past 3 times, it's been perfect.
Nice.
I've been practicing like all day.
No, yeah. Anyway.
All right. So we've got a few minutes to talk about the collaboration. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this up. Yay! Awesome. Okay. Who wants to talk about it?
Oh, I will take it. I am so irrationally excited about this event.
Go for it.
Everybody on the Hard Quirk team is so tired of waking up to my 20 notifications every morning. I'm like, okay, I've been thinking about Spook Yourself, and here's what I have for you.
Once I hit afternoon, it's fine.
Yeah. So, yes, absolutely. As far as, you know, kind of what the Spook Yourself Challenge is and when you guys can get involved, this is going to be something that's open to literally everyone. So absolutely, if you have firsthand lived experience of OCD, please get involved. And, you know, if you don't and you love someone who has OCD, you support someone who has OCD, in general, you're just like kind of all about empowering the mental health and advocacy community, please do get involved. It's going to be starting on this Saturday, October 24th. And we have lots of fun things in store. So kind of, you know, just to give you guys almost an overview, it's going to be essentially this idea, this concept of being able to find the things that you fear the most and face them, which is something that those of us with OCD have had to do most likely on a daily basis as part of our recovery. And so kind of in the spirit of the spooky season, we wanted to almost embrace the fun and quirky side of what that can bring. And yeah, kind of bring everybody into it. Maya, what do you have to add to that?
Ooh, for an overview or for
anything? I'm so excited about this.
I'm not sure what I have to add. That was a pretty good overview.
Okay, nice.
I can add something while you think, Maya. Like you totally got put on the spot. I was like, oh my God.
I do that.
I just want to bring to light how I think the importance of a challenge like this is how important it is to bring awareness to exposure response prevention therapy. That's why I really like it. That's, you know, I've been meaning to, you know, collaborate on a blog with a guest, Jessica Serber, that got kind of derailed when my grandmother passed. But we wanted to collaborate on a blog about how OCD treatment is so counterintuitive and how that really can mess with people when you think, well, I'm having a thought about whether or not I'm going to murder my husband, and the appropriate response is the counterintuitive, oh, let me go get a knife in case I like really get into it right now. Like, who wants to do that? Nobody. Like, you know, ERP sucks, but at the same time, if you work it, you realize how powerful it is and that it's really only just a behavioral mechanism. And so I really like how this is bringing awareness around what it means for I have lots of thoughts, but I'll start with this one and then I'll go to the next. What it means for everyone to be able to understand that fear is something to not be feared, and that by facing something in general, it takes away the power. And I think that we as humans are not programmed that way. What I like to say to clients, especially when they're about to go into ERP therapy and they're like, what if I really don't have OCD? What if I this? I like to say ERP is challenging, but how lucky are we with OCD? We get like full on firsthand coaching on how to face fear face uncertainty, like literally head on. And I often tell people, you're not going to feel it during therapy. You're going to go, what is this? This is nuts, until you're like, okay, this works. And then later in life, when you're facing things that most people, I mean, COVID, hey, like are losing their shit over, we're like, anyway.
I mean, so true.
Yes.
Like I literally attribute ERP therapy to what I do for a living, for moving out to Colorado, for my entire lifestyle. If I hadn't had an ERP, I wouldn't have been able to say, I'm just going to take the risk and live with the uncertainty. If I fail, I fail. If this doesn't work, it doesn't work, but whatever. So that was my tangent, but I'm just really glad that this is bringing light to that. And I wish in these times, people would understand that more, and not bring a lot of shame to everybody because of that. Anyway, that was just my little disclaimer, but go ahead.
Honestly. No, I loved it. I'm like I'm like, make room for me on the soapbox, because I feel like
every once in a while I'll just go on, and I'm like, stop.
I mean, it's so hard to be like, wow, we are part of this incredibly strong community. And the reality is we are totally part of this incredibly strong community. Like, we are able to tolerate uncertainty, distress, discomfort, disgust, anxiety at levels that even, among the people that I love who don't have OCD, like can't, have no tolerance for, have even no willingness to sort of approach. And I think like that has come up even when like talking with my like close friends and family about doing the Spook Yourself challenge is, like their response will almost be something to the extent of like, well, what if something bad happens? For example, of like challenging superstitions. I'm like, yes, welcome to my life, welcome to the party. And so I love, Chrissy, that like you almost brought it back to a serious note, because of course it's fun and of course it's spooky and all of these like really exciting things. And the reality is like, it's really hard. It's really hard. And at times can be full of devastation and grief and loss and, everything, panic and everything under the sun. And like, we can celebrate that. And we can sort of show other people like all of the strength and the work that we are putting in on a daily basis. Now I'm done with my soapbox.
Who's next?
Yeah, really.
I could go. I mean, I think that this challenge, I'm really excited about this because like you guys mentioned, this is an excellent opportunity for the supporting community and even those who don't know very much about OCD to get involved in not necessarily understanding, or not only understanding what it means to live with OCD, but what it means to recover from it and like, gain an appreciation for everything that we go through on a daily basis, to constantly be facing our fears. And, you're right. Like it's something that most people don't do. They don't actively go seek out the things that scare them the most. And, for recovery, we are required to do that. And I have found that it's been so helpful for me. I've gone from someone who's very isolated in my life to my world just expanded when I really started diving into the ERPs and stopped avoiding things. And I think, this challenge is a really exciting opportunity for others to kind of get a glimpse into that and not only understand the illness side of things, but the recovery process.
Sean, what's your role in all this?
Hey, I'm just a happy collaborator. I'm here to 100%. I'm here to help support Hard Quirk and OCD Gamechangers. And I'm pretty blown away about what Hard Quirk's been able to develop in the amount of time that they've been around. And it's unbelievable. Like in my other screen here, I'm looking at their website, and it's beautiful. The blogs, the artwork, what they're building, what they're representing, everything that Allie just said, and it's just amazing. And so they asked me to be part of the Spook Yourself challenge, which is coming up. Ali, you said this Saturday is
This Saturday, October 24th.
Is the kickoff. And then the 26th Monday, we're going to be doing a live version of, I guess, a Draw Your Monster inspired session of me spooking myself in front of everybody. And it's along the same, it's literally exactly what everybody has just said for the past 15 minutes. And I had for the longest time an inability to be able to face my fears the way that they need to be faced. And I got really, really good at sweeping everything under the rug, not looking at them at all, not in the face. And after my treatment with both exposure and response prevention and acceptance and commitment therapy, I learned some really quality skills and tools and ways of allowing myself to feel the fear, face the fear, change my perspective on it, which has then helped me to live a more value-driven life. And I wanted to be a part of this because this helps show that spooking ourselves can be an advantageous thing. This could be something that builds growth. It builds creativity. It, like, you know, the notion that, you know, I in my experience at residential program, everybody in that residential program were were the most creative individuals that I've ever met. And if I can play a small portion in helping bring out some of that creativity in order to help face your fear and give it compassion, things that you're scared of, with Hard Quirk and with OCD Gamechangers, like I'm on board, and I feel so honored and special to be wanted to be asked to be a part of this. My spiel, thank you. And people who know me, if I were to stand on a soapbox, I'd hit my head on the ceiling. So I'm going to stay off the soapbox. But
fair enough.
True. Well, thank you for those that are joining us now. Hi, Jasmine, and there's Margaret. Sean saying Sean is so talented, so grateful for you. Thank you, my friend, for sharing your talent.
Margaret.
We agree. So let's tell people what they need to do, how they need to do it, where they submit it, what's going on, what can I do, and maybe even, I'm kind of scared. Does this mean I have to go like hang off a cliff? No. It doesn't.
I was like, yeah.
You're like, yes. So what can people submit? What does this look like?
Yeah. No, I love that. And really quickly, I was getting very like teary-eyed while Sean was talking. Just
he does that to people.
He does. And like, that's part of the power, I feel like. But yes, it is absolutely an honor to be collaborating with both of you. And we're so excited about that. Yes. So in order to get involved with Spook Yourself, we are going to put out some graphics for you guys over the weekend. They'll be out probably like Friday night, Saturday morning. And it's going to have everything like a step-by-step process. But what we're probably going to do is asking you guys to find the things that scare you the most, maybe not hanging off a cliff, like maybe start with something small, quicker. So like, for example, if you hate public speaking, like, call and leave somebody a voicemail. If you are very superstitious, like go break a mirror. Do these things that you find very terrifying. And even if they're very small and mundane, like the more the better, right? We with OCD know how small and mundane these huge fears can be. And document yourself doing that. So you can upload a photo that represents that. You can upload a small video of yourself doing it if you want. Of course, please hashtag Spook Yourself Challenge. Please do tag us. You've got Hard Quirk, you've got OCD Gamechangers, you've got Puro Chrissy, you have Sean Chinnick, you have Draw Your Monster. Many options for people that you can tag. And then you're going to nominate 3 people who you want to do the same. So we all just kind of talked about how everyone benefits from this. So choose wisely friends and family that you kind of want to get involved. And we'll all learn a thing or two about the OCD community in the process. And then the very last step is going to be to consider making a donation or a gift to OCD Gamechangers, which is going to be kind of a collective fund that we're going to use to do some really fun community projects over the next couple months. So Chrissy talks a little bit about her community projects at the beginning, and you'll find more information about Hard Quirk's community projects on the page when you go to make a gift.
So if any of you are listening and you're thinking, I don't know what I should do. I don't know what, I mean, am I breaking up? Is it me?
I can hear you okay. There's a little bit of noise, but.
Oh, I don't know why. I should talk softer. If you're thinking, I don't know why that's happening. Y'all just keep going.
Okay.
Let me figure out what's going on.
Yeah. So I also forgot to mention anyway, so that's actually a really good opportunity, that this is going to be primarily done over like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So I know like social media is not ideal for everyone. If you can find a way to get involved else, like in a different course, we will find a way to post your mission for you. This is really going to be a social media challenge, so you can find all information on media accounts.
That was very choppy for me, I'm gonna say.
Hey, Allie, I don't know if you're still there, but you were kind of choppy a little bit, just going in and out. So maybe if you come back, you can say that again.
She looks a bit frozen.
Yeah.
Am I?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you are. There you are.
Some issues.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay, this is like, I just spooked myself about doing like a broadcast and all hell breaking loose. Hey, hashtag.
So, Al, you may need to repeat maybe the last 30 seconds of what you just said.
Oh, okay. I figured as much. Yep. So same. There must be something going on with the like live stream thing. So yes, exactly what I was talking about. So Facebook, Instagram, again, I know social media may not be the kind of best or most approachable medium for you guys, but if you're willing, you can email it into us. We'll post it for you. We're going to be highlighting everybody's post in our story. We're going to be keeping up with you guys. We are so excited to see what the community is going to do with this, because you guys are mad creative. That much we know.
Awesome. And Jillian just reminded us that Mercury is in retrograde right now, so that is probably what's happening.
Yeah, it's got to be it.
Oh, Mercury.
All right, so I think that we've hit all of the high spots. So I think we're gonna sign off now. But before, of course, and Sean, you're included in this too. Sorry, but like I'm putting you on the spot. That's okay though, because you always come up with brilliant answers. There may be people, especially after OCD Awareness Week, that are like, oh, I should have shared my story. Everybody else was, but I just got scared. Now, we're not asking that you have to hashtag speak yourself doing that, but what can we as advocates tell these people who are just kind of on the fence, or just like, I really want to do something and I don't know what to do. I'm really scared. I don't know how it will be received. Give us a little inspiration for them. And then we will end. Sean, why don't you go first?
Oh, so some people that I work with that I'm very close with like to say something called or like a line that's you're stronger than you think. You're stronger than you think. And what I did when I first started getting started was I didn't take this huge leap of advocacy. It was like small little steps that started to build this bridge of something bigger. So if you're not feeling comfortable doing it at first, that's totally okay. Try something for yourself. Draw something out. If you want to draw something, if you want to practice something in the mirror, if you want to record something and then not send it, it's a good way to like just dip your toe into what it might feel like to start getting active, publicly. And then maybe you share it with a friend and get some feedback from them, and then you work on that, or you work on a poem that you've been trying to write for a while. But remember, you are so much stronger than you think. When our story is telling us, when we look in the mirror that we're not good enough, we're not worthy enough, we're not competent, we're not talented. Remember that these are stories. These are all stories. You're strong enough. I know that you are, but small steps.
How about you, Maya?
For me, I will say, unlike what Sean said, Allie and I did kind of go ham at the beginning of this and just went full force towards advocacy. Very unexpected for me. However, it just happened and I'm very passionate about it. But my answer is that I think advocacy can look, it's a broad spectrum, you know, like advocacy can be having a conversation with a friend even who doesn't know some sort of information that you have and want to share in order to spread awareness. Advocacy can be sharing other advocates' content to your Instagram feed. So sharing information, it can be really anything under the sun that just gets you involved in the conversation. It doesn't have to start out as, speaking to your deepest, darkest fears and whatnot. It can be very small steps, like Sean said. So just taking it slow at the beginning, if that works for you, or go full force like we did. Yeah.
How about you, Allie?
Well, as usual, I love what you said, Maya. But yeah, I think, almost something that is like recurring in my mind is things that coaches say to me when I'm doing these really challenging things, which is, first of all, that it's supposed to feel hard. That's the point. It's supposed to be so scary. It's supposed to feel wrong. It's supposed to feel dirty. It's supposed to feel whatever it is that you're kind of coming up against. So when you feel that, that's not a signal to turn around and run in the opposite direction. That is like a sign that you are on the right path. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So that was always like really encouraging for me. And I also don't want to, spook myself. That's all. Like, I don't like ERP, even though I'm like more skilled at it probably than most people. So that's something I think that I will be kind of holding close to me throughout the next few weeks. Also, in terms of inspiration, like, you guys can find, we're going to have tons of examples up. You can find all of our kind of our own spook yourselves, our family and friends who are going to spook themselves as well for inspiration. And finally, just like understanding that, I hate to like end on such a sad note, but like in the wake of OCD Awareness Week, we posted tons of statistics and things like that. And the reality is that people who struggle with OCD are 10 times more likely to die by suicide than those in the general population. And there are tons of other statistics about how long it takes for people to get diagnosed and to get treated. And at the end of the day, this is about raising awareness for OCD so that people can understand what it is that we're going through and we can take those numbers down.
Thank you, everyone. And my final words are that OCD Awareness Week can be really hard because it's so wonderful to be able to open your feed and all of these people who you had no idea are coming out of the woodworks, and you see that you're just like them and they're just like you. I want to make sure that you know that nobody's gone away. There's just sometimes a little bit more encouragement when everybody else is doing it and you feel less alone and a little bit more empowered. But empowerment can happen when you're ready. It took me 25 years after the onset of OCD to start advocating, and it took me 15 after treatment because I was too scared. And it was worth the wait. I wasn't ready until I was ready. And as you always know, if you follow me, I say this: until you're willing to take negative feedback about what you're putting out there, probably not a good time to do it. So a great way to do it is to join the efforts of amazing advocates, amazing organizations like Gamechangers, Hard Quirk, Draw Your Monster, Riley's Wish, Made of Millions, No CD. There's so many out there that you can get involved with, you can become a part of, be surrounded by people who are already doing the work, and you feel just that safety net of support as you are slowly or forcefully venturing out there to become an advocate. There's a huge stage. We need you, but we also need you to be up there and feeling confident and healthy. So use the advocates that are already out there to help support you, to help cheerlead you, because that's what we're here for. And so thank you to Hard Quirk for being here today. Really appreciate everything you're doing. I'm so excited we're collaborating. This is just, we're just so honored to be able to be a part of what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
So excited. Thank you. It's been such a pleasure.
And Sean, of course, love you, man.
Love you too.
We've been in it together for years. So
We have. We've been going for a long time. We'll keep going. We'll keep going.
Well, we're just walking alongside each other, aren't we?
I'm excited to be part of this community. That's all I can say. So.
And for everybody that tuned in, thank you so much. I cannot wait to see how you're going to spook yourself and who you're going to tag in. So please keep an eye on social media. Please join us as we are spooking ourselves. It is going to be amazing. And please, if you would consider donating to OCD Gamechangers, you and your donation can be part of humongous changes that are really coming up around the corner. I can't tell you what they are just yet because we're developing them, but they are there, and we need your support. We need your financial support. We need your support to be part of this community. We're going to need your ideas when we open up other focus groups. We need you. You matter. This community is not the same without you. Thank you for being here at Monday Mavericks, and I look forward to seeing you in a week and a half, and I have no idea who's coming on, or I would announce it. I haven't had time to look at the calendar, but thank you. And
bye, everyone.
Oh, wait, let me end the broadcast.